guys, today I'm going to be talking about the Son of Neptune by Riordan, and this is book 2 in the Heroes of Olympus series. So if you have not yet read the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, I strongly recommend that you do. That series is amazing. It's also really heavy. The series is so good. You will not regret it. It's so full of just adventure, and Riordan just really pulls you in. They're very fast-paced, and these are not very big either. The Heroes of Olympus series are a little bit bigger, but they all go by so quickly that it's insane. But he's so good. His characters are just really good characters. They're usually kind of funny, but they're always so brave, and they just seem so realistic. They have like real problems. I mean, some of them are not your everyday problems. They are the sons and daughters of gods, so they're a little different than like you and I. But it's a great series. I definitely recommend that you check them out if you haven't. Book 1 is The Lost Hero, and I actually just put my book review up on this, so if you click on it now, it will take you to that book review / discussion. I love this book as well, and it's basically a continuation of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. At the end of book 5, there's this prophecy. There's like a new quest, and this is just kind of like continuing that. And like I said, it is a little bit bigger than that series, but I finished this in 2 days, so it just flies by. It pulls you in. I love it. I love reading about the mythology. Just the Greek mythology is so interesting and so cool. Definitely check out my book review if you haven't. And today we are talking about book 2. So if you've not read those, please read them. I don't want to spoil you. We are going to be talking about some of my favorite parts and things, so there will be spoilers. So go read it. It was amazing. 5 stars. Every single book I just showed you was 5 stars. Trust me, I recommend them. They're fantastic. They're wonderful. Go read it and come back. Alrighty, so the beginning of this book starts out, and I admit I was a little confused at some of like the Roman stuff. I felt like when I started The Lost Hero, I wasn't confused because, if anything, Jason was the one that was confused. I knew about Camp Half-Blood, and this one, we're introduced to a new Camp Jupiter, and it just, all the Roman stuff was so different, just the house, it was the whole setup. They had a city where there were, descendants of demigods, and it was so odd to think that they could grow up and go to college. And I don't know, like at Camp Half-Blood, it's just like younger kids for the most part. It's different, because of the whole, Neptune stuff. Like the Romans were afraid of the sea, and so poor Percy's house is like a shack, and no one, I guess they're afraid of him, but they don't really like him or love him, I guess. But anyways, it was interesting, but I think I would definitely rather go to Camp Half-Blood. I'd rather participate in like Capture the Flag compared to like the war games. And I know there were similarities, obviously, but it was so wrong, with the whole, like the fawns were just like these hippies that just didn't do anything. And you think of like Grover, who protected Percy, and I don't know, even Percy, who, couldn't remember, he knew it was wrong. And that was another thing about this book, is I kind of was getting frustrated, whereas with Jason I wasn't, because I didn't know Jason, and I thought everything was just interesting, and I didn't know about his past, but I knew about Percy's past, and I knew what he'd left behind, and so I was getting like infuriated because he'd get so close to remembering stuff and it'd be gone. And I'm just like, oh, like I just want him to remember, and I want him to get back to Annabeth. And I understand ultimately that he needed to be at Camp Jupiter, but I was getting more frustrated, I guess, in the beginning with this book. I really thought it was so cute that Percy was thinking of Annabeth and like the city. Oh, I'm so glad he remembered her, by the way. That was like the only thing he remembered. But I thought it was so cute when he was like thinking of the city, how they could kind of grow up together and go to school, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Percy, you're so cute. So we had some super powerful demigods in the Lost Hero and the Son of Neptune. These guys, I guess it's the whole, you know, 7 demigod thing. They're just like the most powerful, like the best of the best kind of thing. But crap, like the stuff that they can do is just crazy. I thought that Piper and Leo and Jason were pretty cool, the last book, and then you get to this book and it's just insane. Like freaking Frank is, did you guys guess what his like powers were? Because I did not know that his grandma and his mom meant like they literally meant that he could be anything. And until the end, I didn't understand that, and I was kind of like, what? That is insane. Can you think of how many times that could come in handy when you, I mean, think of all the things he could be. He can be them. That's crazy. Hazel was really neat. Her character, I mean, she just, I felt so bad about her backstory and her mother, and I felt like we were in some like Disney movie with like the Wicked Witch, and she's like taking over her mother, and I was for some reason thinking of Tangled when she's like in this house and it's so strict and her mother doesn't really love her and she's just using her and for her like abilities, and she's mean and I hate her. Ultimately, it was crazy how brave Hazel was when she like brought down the like cave sort of thing, and it was insane to think that the giant would have risen so much sooner if it wouldn't have been for Hazel. That was so brave and like just courageous, and then to find out that she had turned down that afterworld like experience for her mother so that her mother wouldn't be punished. And that just shows like the heart that Hazel has, I suppose. And it was so crazy. I was so confused when it started out with like Nico and how it was his sister, and then it's been a year since I read the Percy Jackson series, and so I was like, wait, that's not his sister. I thought his sister died. But anyways, it came back to me. It was kind of cool that Nico like saved her though, and I really like Nico. He's so just like this, I don't know, he's so different than almost all the other demigods, and he just comes and goes as he pleases. And I was really confused again when he didn't admit that he like knew Percy, because I remember at one point he like hated Percy's guts and he blamed him for the death of his sister, but I thought they had made up by the end, and again, it had been a year, but I thought he had made up, and so I was kind of confused, and I was like, well, maybe he still hates Percy. But I don't think that was it. I think he was just kind of like, maybe, I don't know, I think maybe he knew there was a reason why Percy was like that and he shouldn't interfere, or maybe he just wanted to like get back, I don't know, just mess with Percy. It was funny whenever Percy like realized later like, oh, I'm gonna kill him for not acting like he recognized me. But anyways, yeah, Frank and Hazel, I really like those two new characters. Frank was so shy and so just like not confident in the beginning, and by the end he's like this powerful demigod that like knows his own strength. And I felt bad that Ares or Mars was his father, because he, you know, his new friend Percy like hates the guy, and I did think that was pretty funny whenever Percy like remained standing and Mars is just looking at him like, who is this little dude? Like, who do you think you are? I think it's strange he doesn't remember Percy though. I guess, I mean, I know it was like his other personality kind of thing, his Greek self, but it's kind of hard to wrap my mind around that sometimes. But anyways, I'm so happy that Hazel got her horse, and I love horses, and I loved all those parts. And then with the whole like the Amazons, and I love that, you know, she gets to take the horse. She gets her horse finally. Oh, I love Ella, and I love when they go, and just that whole scene with the Gorgon's blood and the vials and like the gambling and the harpies. It was kind of hard for me to think. I think they're normal size, and then they're just girls like kind of like with wings sort of. And I think that Ella was just one of the smaller ones, because there for a minute I was thinking she was like an actual bird, but later on it was so cute with her and Tyson. Oh, it was so cool. She's like, Tyson's strong, and then she starts blushing and Percy's like, is Ella blushing? I loved all of her lines and just like how sporadic she was, and she's just so funny. I love how after this happened, Frank's like, so there's this battle happening, like when they had just arrived at Camp Jupiter, and Percy's like, oh, right. I hate Octavian's guts. He is so stupid. Like at first he was just weird, but he didn't bug me, like how he was like ripping open like Beanie Babies, and I'm just like, and Percy's like obviously not taking him serious, he's just like a weirdo. But the whole part with the war games, seriously, I got so pissed off whenever Percy, Hazel, and Frank kick butt and they go in there. They show everyone that their group is like not that crappy, and they win and it's awesome. And seriously, Octavian stabs Gwen in the back and kills her. Are you kidding me? That just shows how much of a psychopath he is. He really, I think we just got a hint of him this book. I am really worried that next book in the Mark of Athena that we're going to really see his full colors, and I'm really afraid that, you know, with his tongue with like in the Senate and when he was up there talking, and you know he kind of showed up Raina, and I just am kind of worried about him and I hate him. And you know, at the end when Percy got like the marks, like the tattoo kind of thing, he's like, I hope it hurt. Like, shut up. Anyways, I just can't stand him, and I'm so happy Gwen was okay ultimately. I was kind of thankful that, you know, Death was captured so that, you know, she could be okay. But anyways, this whole quest was really cool to me, that they went to Alaska where it's like, you know, it's godless and it's just like so barren, and you know there's like these blue giants. I loved it when they get back to Camp Jupiter and everyone just like, oh my god, they're like, everyone's shocked because they actually made it back alive from Alaska, and they had the eagle and they had Tyson and like a hellhound with them, Mrs. O'Leary, and everyone just like, oh my god. And then everyone gets like even more excited because they're there, and then they take down the giant with what was the god's name? Was it like Terminus? And he's like, that is against the rules. That's it. And then I love that in the end, the god and the demigod ended up killing the giant, because you wouldn't even have thought earlier, you know, when he's just like this half of a man statue thing. So that book was amazing. The end was, I'm so glad that the Mark of Athena is out now. I couldn't imagine having to wait for the next one after that. The ship is coming in, and the idiot Octavian is getting people upset about it, but Raina is trusting Percy, and it's so cool how Leo comes in. But what's with the whole Sam thing? What? I don't understand that. Sam and Leo, and that the names don't even sound anything alike, but Percy said that was the same, and then Hazel's freaking out. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if it really is gonna be Sammy and he's gonna recognize Hazel and this whole big thing starts, and I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I'll find out in the next book. It ended on such a like, I need the next book, and so I am gonna immediately start this tonight, and I cannot wait to read it. Please let me know your thoughts on this book. Please let me know your favorite parts and what you thought of the ending. Please leave some comments and just discuss with me. This book was amazing. I cannot wait to see you next in discussing the Mark of Athena. I'm so excited to read this book, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!